The president, in his third address to the nation on measures put in place to control the COVID-19 pandemic, announced the closure of the country's air, sea and land borders. The decision, which has since been reviewed, still bans the movement of persons in and out of Ghana's land borders, except for approved cargo. This notwithstanding, it appears the ban is not strictly being adhered to in the extreme north of Ghana at Tumu in the Sesale East municipality of the Upper West region, as some persons are seen daily moving across the country's border to Burkina Faso in the town. Behind me is Ghana's border to Burkina Faso, located here at Tumu, the capital of the Sesale East municipality of the Upper West region. Officially, this border is supposed to be closed, but as you can see, people move in freely to Tumu, and there are those who are also going out of the border without being questioned. We spoke to some of the people manning this particular border, which is officials of the Ghana Immigration Service, and they did indicate that there are some basic challenges that are confronting the enforcement of the ban on the movement of persons to and from Ghana.
One of the challenges is that the ECOWAS nationals, especially those of us in our neighboring countries such as Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali, they always would want to come. We term them as economic migrants. And they come, but because we are on top of issues, we pick them and repatriate them. In the midst of COVID, whilst we are in a lockdown, Burkina Faso is not in a lockdown. So when the travelers get to Burkina Faso authority, they are not halted. They are allowed to come to Ghana side, but we, because we are acting on the fact that Ghana is in a lockdown, we pick them back and send them back to their countries. Coupled with that, aside the fact that there is a presidential directive on border closure, if we talk of seeing people still moving to and from Ghana in the era of lockdown and at a particular unapproved route, it is non-existent. What do exist, especially in the case of Tumu, is that if you get to Tumu, if you know Tumu very well, where we are located as personnel or officials of Ghana Immigration Service, behind us up to the entry point into Burkina Faso is about 18 kilometers. Considering the porous nature of our border residents and their activities, in fact, is becoming actually a big challenge. There are plethora of unapproved routes dotted around the Upper West, traveling or journeying into Burkina Faso. So what do happen sometimes is people will still want to facilitate movement of things to and from the country through whatever means.
There have been instances where illegal immigrants brought COVID-19 into the country. Some residents along the Tumu border say they are living in constant fear of contracting the disease due to the influx of illegal immigrants into their communities.
I think people came from Burkina day in, day out. Our communities buying maize and go out. Even they are doing their own business like there's nothing that is worrying us.
Christian ko la pala ni news la anaba top border oguro ne wura so fa ama Burkina re Ghana hala pata wasa pienya ko kolma de gitumulai baban anu ne bra wala na kanda samu mara hala to da lito afana sa this spiritual pastor making them
The president, in his last visit to the Upper West region, bemoaned the porous nature of Ghana's borders in the area and charged the various security agencies to up their game in combating cross-border crime, especially illegal migration and the smuggling of the government's subsidized fertilizer into neighboring Burkina Faso. Nearly a month after the call, this farmer in Burkina Faso claims the smuggling menace is still prevalent, as he and his colleague farmers in the West African country still get their farm inputs from Ghana.
Some pass the bush to bring them home, but for me, I just pass the road.
So when you pass the road, Do you have the security officials preventing you from bringing the subsidized fertilizer to your country?
Yeah.
They don't. So when they stop you, what do you do before you can get the fertilizer in?
I tell them that I'm a Ghanaian, but I'm living in Burkina, so my family is just right here.
So, but can you tell us whether some people pass through other routes to get this fertilizer in to your community land because it's in Burkina Faso?
Maybe some people do.
How is it done? How are they able to do it?
Some people may pass bush.
If we see any attempt to smuggle our PFJ fertilizer into neighboring countries, we will not allow that. And if you do remember, in 2019, our men were able to intercept over 3,000 fertilizer bags that were being smuggled into Burkina Faso. They were apprehended by Ghana Immigration Service and brought back to Upper West Regional Headquarters, and it was being sent to Ghana Customs for further action.
A journalist with Tumu-based local FM, who has been monitoring activities along the Tumu border, says the time has come for the government to strengthen security at the Tumu border.
When you talk about border crimes, the Sisala East, Sisala West are not cannot be excluded. We are also part of the larger problems that every border town faces. Behind me is the border to Leo, and it's 18 kilometers between Tumu and Leo. Now, the border, as you indicated, is in Tumu town. And there are several communities, Langwera, Koploma, Jitom, are all behind the border. Okay. So in 2017, there was a graphic publication that the Ghana Revenue Authority had plans to construct a new border post just some few meters from the no man's land. But up to date, today, 2021, nothing has been done. And it makes it difficult for security personnel in terms of logistics, in terms of monitoring, putting themselves together to be able to monitor the border. I mean, look at from here to Golu, up to Paga, up to Hamale. And I tell you, every week, close to 40 truckload of articulators, sometimes with goods and services from Branhafu, Ashanti region, uses this road onto Leo with several different type of goods. So I think that government needs to do something about it. Whatever the reason could be, I think they need to revisit the issue of putting that border post here. It will help solve some of the problems that we have in this area.
It is clear that the location of the Tumu border is a hindrance in the fight against illegal migration and border crime here in the extreme north of Ghana. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Latif Mahama. Tumu.